Have you ever noticed that today's freight trains seem to be full of tank cars, covered hoppers, shipping containers, but you don't see too many box cars, do you? Yeah. For nearly a century, the boxcar was the symbol of American railroading. Today, they're still around, but they're only a fraction of what they once were. So, what happened? My name is Mark Magana, and this is Railroad Economics, where we explain why railroads do what they do and how the business really works. If you were standing next to a railroad track in the 1940s, 50s, or 60s, the chances are most of the train rolling past you would have been boxcars. It might have been all boxcars. Why? Because the American economy looked completely different back then. Factories made products close to where they were sold. Almost everything that needed protection from the weather traveled inside a boxcar. Think furniture, paper, appliances, machinery, canned food, auto parts, lumber, even the mail. If it needed to stay dry, the chances are it rode in a boxcar. At one point, there were well over a million boxcars in North America. A million. They weren't just common, they were the backbone of the freight railroad industry. So, why don't we see them anymore? The answer isn't that railroads stopped using boxcars or stopped liking boxcars. I mean, I guess they did stop using them, but it's not that they stopped liking them. The answer is that the economy just changed. One of the biggest changes was something almost no one thinks about: the shipping container. Instead of loading cargo into a boxcar at the factory and unloading it again at a warehouse, companies could just load it all into one container. That same container could travel by truck, by train, or by ship without ever having to open the doors to the container. Every time you avoid unloading and reloading freight, you're saving money, less labor, right? And in transportation, saving money pretty much always wins, right or wrong. At the same time, America's interstate highway system exploded. I mean, like, remember, we're talking about the 40s, 50s, 60s. The interstate system did not exist until President Eisenhower in the 50s. Trucking became faster and more flexible for many shipments. If a manufacturer only needed a few pallets delivered directly to a warehouse, calling a truck often made a lot more sense than arranging a rail shipment. Railroads gradually just lost much of the smaller freight that had once filled countless boxcars. Obviously, railroads didn't disappear, they specialized. Coal moved in hopper cars, chemicals move in tank cars, grain moves in covered hopper cars, automobiles move in auto racks. Shipping containers exploded in popularity. The railroad industry became more efficient by using equipment designed for a specific commodity instead of trying to haul everything inside a general purpose car like a boxcar. Ironically, today's boxcars are often far more specialized than the old ones. Many are designed specifically for paper products or for food service packaging, beverages, appliances, auto parts, stuff like that. So the boxcar didn't disappear, it just found a new job and much more of a specific job than it had in decades past. This is one of those stories where rolling stock tells you something about the nature of the economy. When you see fewer boxcars today, you're really seeing decades of changes in manufacturing, logistics, warehousing, trucking, and global trade. The railroad didn't make the boxcar less important. American business did. Now, could the boxcar ever make a comeback? That might be its own video, but we'll touch on it here for a moment because it's an interesting question. If more manufacturing returns to the United States over the next decade, could boxcars become common again? Possibly. More domestic factories could create more opportunities for rail shipments of finished goods, paper products, building materials, appliances, automotive components. They will all move in boxcars. That doesn't mean we'll ever return to the days when nearly every freight train was dominated by boxcars. I don't see that happening. Intermodal containers are kind of the thing now, for lack of a better term. Specialized rail cars are just simply too efficient for modern supply chains. But if domestic manufacturing grows, and the current administration, this is not political, but that's what the current administration wants. They want to bring at least some manufacturing back to the United States. And if that happens, I wouldn't be one bit surprised to see boxcar traffic grow along with it. Not because railroads are going backwards, but because the economy would be changing once again. So the next time you're waiting at a railroad crossing, count the boxcars. Chances are you'll see far fewer than someone standing at the exact same spot 50 years ago. Chances are you might not see even one. And that isn't just a railroad story. That is the story of how America's economy has changed. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll consider subscribing. Thank you for watching. Again, my name is Mark Magana. This is Railroad Economics, and I hope you'll tune in next time. Thank you so much.